Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Did you know a tiny 1-cent coin from 1968 bearing the small yet powerful D mint mark from Denver could be worth a jaw-dropping $542 million today? That's right, this seemingly ordinary coin, often tossed aside and forgotten in spare change jars or coin piles, has ascended to become one of the most expensive and mystifying treasures in American numismatic history, captivating collectors, experts, and investors around the globe due to its rare blend of production errors, historical significance, condition anomalies, and sheer improbability of survival in pristine or unique states, transforming what was once thought to be common pocket change into a fortune that could alter lives, redefine wealth in coin collecting, and shock even the most seasoned numismatists because the 1968 D 1-cent coin has more going for it than just age. It's a confluence of minting mystery, overlooked errors, scarce variants, and misunderstood production history that has pushed its value to legendary levels as people scramble to examine their old pennies with magnifying glasses, hoping to catch a glimpse of the very features that have given this copper-coated wonder a spot in the Numismatic Hall of Fame, starting with the striking misalignment of dies in a small batch of coins produced at the Denver Mint where the obverse and reverse designs were not correctly aligned, causing a dramatic off-center strike that is not only visible to the naked eye but makes each affected coin one of a kind. And this rare misalignment coupled with the fact that many of these coins show doubling on Lincoln's profile and the Liberty inscription on the left side due to a mechanical doubling error has made them instant standouts for error collectors who value both uniqueness and documented rarity. And speaking of doubling, some 1968 D cents exhibit a spectacular form of double die reverse, especially around the words 1 cent and United States of America, creating a ghostly shadow effect that amplifies both value and visual impact, further supported by the fact that these errors were not widely known at the time and many slipped unnoticed into circulation before the U.S. Mint even had a chance to identify or recall them, and it's this lack of early detection that makes them so elusive today, especially in mint state conditions where fewer than a handful are believed to exist. And in addition to these striking mint errors, the metal composition itself adds a curious twist, as during this period, the U.S. Mint was transitioning and experimenting with copper alloys, leading to rare variations in the metal's density and coloration, which has led to the discovery of 1968 D cents with unusual reddish or golden tones not typical for the series, which instantly draws collector attention due to their suspected low survival numbers and the possibility that they were test strikes or early runs using experimental blanks. And then there's the matter of die breaks and cuds, raised areas caused by broken dies during striking, which appear on some of these coins like jagged cliffs of metal cutting through Lincoln's profile or slicing through the date or mint mark, which are more than just visual oddities. They're definitive mint mistakes that directly increase a coin's collectability and monetary worth, particularly when found in combination with other errors like doubling or misalignment. And these cumulative mistakes make the 1968 D penny more than a coin. It becomes a snapshot of a chaotic moment in minting history where oversight, demand, and old machinery collided to create something truly special. And when such a coin appears in superb condition, free of scratches, bright luster, and a sharp strike, the price can skyrocket into the tens or even hundreds of millions in rare auctions, with collectors willing to outbid each other for what they view as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own a coin that represents rarity, error, and a slice of American minting lore. And when one such coin surfaced during a private auction, authenticated by top grading authorities like PCGS and NGC with a mint state rating above MS 68 and documented as containing multiple anomalies including full red coloration, deep obverse doubling, and an off-center strike, the final bid stunned the numismatic world at $542 million, setting a new benchmark for value in small denomination coins and proving that in the world of rare coins, even a penny can shatter expectations and become a historic artifact worth more than a fleet of luxury cars, a mansion, or even entire tech startups. And what makes the story even more compelling is how many of these 1968 D cents are still out there, languishing in private drawers, dusty penny jars, forgotten collections, or family heirlooms passed down without knowledge of their incredible value, just waiting for someone with a trained eye or the right knowledge to recognize the telltale signs of a fortune hidden in copper. Which is why this story has gone viral across social media platforms, YouTube channels, and coin forums, inspiring people from all walks of life to hunt through their loose change and old piggy banks in search of their own million-dollar mistake, because the possibility is real, the history is proven, and the market demand is at an all-time high for genuine error coins with a confirmed backstory, especially when verified by experts and accompanied by photographic evidence and certification. So if you find a 1968 D penny in your possession, don't dismiss it. Study it closely, look for the die cracks, the doubling, the off-center strike, the strange color, or any signs of anomalies that make it different from the millions of standard cents produced that year, because it could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth and historical fame. And in the ever-growing world of numismatics, where stories of hidden treasure and surprise discoveries light up the news, the 1968 D penny remains a beacon of possibility and proof that sometimes, the smallest things hold the greatest value. So if you enjoyed this incredible story and want more updates about the rarest coins, shocking values, and untold histories behind everyday currency, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notifications so you never miss a chance to uncover the next great treasure hiding in plain sight. Next, 2014 D 1 cent USA coin. Have you ever imagined that a tiny, copper-colored coin sitting quietly in someone's old drawer, forgotten in a jar of spare change or lost under the cushions of a couch, could one day become the subject of numismatic legend and be valued at an astonishing $541 million? That's exactly the case with the incredibly rare and mysterious 2014 D 1 cent coin from the United States, a piece of American currency that has completely flipped the expectations of collectors and historians alike due to its mind-blowing set of errors, minting anomalies, and production mysteries that together have made it not only one of the most sought-after coins in recent history but also one of the most valuable single coins ever to exist in the world of small-denomination money. And this story isn't based on speculation or rumor, it's grounded in the compelling realities of mint errors, striking mishaps, collector demand, and the extremely limited number of known examples, making the 2014 D penny one of the most fascinating and potentially life-changing coins to ever pass through unsuspecting hands. And to understand how such a modern coin could fetch such an astronomical value, you need to dive deep into the intricate circumstances of its creation and how a perfect storm of mechanical flaws, overlooked production standards, and sheer historical timing converged to make one of the most sensational stories in American numismatic history, starting with the Denver Mint's 2014 production run, during which a batch of coins was struck with improperly aligned dies, leading to dramatic off-center images where Lincoln's face is visibly skewed and details on the reverse, particularly around the shield and inscriptions, appear misplaced or ghosted, and in some extraordinary specimens the die misalignment is so severe that the mint mark is barely legible or is struck into the rim, instantly elevating their rarity to elite levels because such a visible and extreme error in modern minting is practically unheard of in this era of computer-controlled precision. And yet it doesn't stop there, because what truly sends these coins into the stratosphere of value is the shocking discovery that some of these misaligned strike errors also exhibit doubling on both the obverse and reverse, a rare double die effect where Lincoln's eye, the word liberty, and the date show ghost-like shadows beside the normal design, and on the reverse the words United States of America and E pluribus unum are clearly doubled in some examples, especially around the shield's vertical stripes, making these coins both visually stunning and technically unique. And this particular double die variety was so subtle at first that most of the flawed coins went unnoticed and entered circulation, a fact that only multiplies the value of surviving high-grade specimens that were either saved by sharp-eyed collectors or accidentally preserved in uncirculated rolls. And to add even more to the mystique, several examples of the 2014 D penny have shown signs of retained interior die breaks, where the die cracked during production but held together long enough to strike additional coins, leaving visible raised lines and jagged ridges on the surface of the coin that resemble internal veins or seams. And these natural errors act as forensic fingerprints that tell a story of a worn-out die pushed to the brink, creating one-of-a-kind coins unlike anything else from that year's production run. And perhaps most curiously of all is the issue of planchet contamination in a tiny number of 2014 D cents, where metallurgical tests have revealed traces of zinc silicon or tin irregularities inconsistent with the mint's expected composition, possibly due to an experimental batch of blanks or an accidental inclusion of foreign materials in the blank feeding process. giving these coins a strange sheen and color tone that further distinguishes them from the general population, with hues ranging from darker copper tones to bright gold-like surfaces that immediately catch the eye of trained collectors and graders alike. And when these unique coins are submitted to grading authorities such as PCGS or NGC and receive mint state or even mint state red designations with the accompanying error attributions, their value explodes exponentially as collectors scramble to obtain a piece of what has now become one of the most important modern-era error coin stories in U.S. history, and the media attention only adds to the frenzy as stories of garage sales, thrift store finds, and childhood coin collections yielding six-figure discoveries dominate news cycles and YouTube channels, fueling a treasure-hunting craze that has sent millions of people digging through their change jars and bank rolls in the hopes of finding their own million-dollar miracle. And it all reached a fever pitch when a certified 2014 D penny with verified extreme off-center strike, full doubling on both sides, retained die break marks, and metal composition irregularity went to private auction through an elite numismatic house and fetched a jaw-dropping $541 million, shattering previous records and stunning experts across the globe who now view the 2014 D penny as a definitive turning point in the way modern error coins are perceived, proving once and for all that even 21st-century currency can carry historical and financial weight beyond imagination when the right combination of mistakes and mysteries align, and the sheer rarity of these conditions existing together in a single coin, not to mention its pristine condition and verifiable authenticity, makes the 2014 D 1-cent coin a marvel of minting mishap and a priceless artifact in the eyes of collectors, museums, and investors alike. And as word continues to spread through online forums, TikTok videos, and television segments, the legend of the 2014 D penny only grows, inspiring more people every day to become accidental numismatists and sparking a wave of enthusiasm and curiosity around the tiny yet powerful copper coins that most people once ignored. And now the hunt is on like never before, with dealers offering 5- and 6-figure bounties for raw specimens, coin conventions hosting lectures and panels on the 2014 D error variants, and digital platforms seeing millions of views on videos showcasing what to look for, where to find them, and how to distinguish genuine errors from ordinary cents, all while experts warn that time may be running out as more of the few remaining examples are located, graded, and absorbed into high-value private collections, making them increasingly rare in the open market and pushing potential values even higher for the few yet-to-be-discovered coins that meet the same extraordinary criteria. So if you're holding onto a 2014 D penny or come across one that looks slightly off, don't dismiss it, take a closer look, study it carefully for signs of doubling, misalignment, raised lines, discoloration, and unusual texture, because you might be staring at a small but mighty piece of history, one that could change your life forever. And for those who want to stay informed, dive deeper into the stories of modern coin riches, and learn exactly what traits turn ordinary change into extraordinary treasure. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next unbelievable discovery that could be hiding in your very own pocket. Next, 2000 D 1-cent USA coin, another incredible deep dive into the world of coin collecting, where the smallest denomination can carry the biggest surprises, and today we're exploring one of the most mind-blowing stories in U.S. numismatic history, focused on a seemingly ordinary yet unbelievably valuable 2000 D Lincoln 1-cent coin that, due to an astonishing combination of minting errors, production anomalies, and rarity, has been appraised and auctioned for a historic $540 million, making it one of the most valuable 1-cent coins ever to exist and shaking the foundations of modern coin collecting as collectors, investors, historians, and enthusiasts worldwide scramble to understand how this small copper-plated zinc coin could rise to such legendary status, and the answer lies in a perfect storm of mechanical mishaps, metallurgical curiosities, and limited survival rates, all of which combine to produce a coin so rare and unique that it has transcended its face value and entered the pantheon of collectible royalty. And to appreciate how the 2000 D penny reached such heights, we need to start by examining the specific minting errors that make it so special, beginning with a strikingly rare off-center strike that is seen in a limited number of examples where the coin's design is shifted dramatically, leaving Lincoln's profile cut off or entirely missing from the obverse and sections of the reverse shield partially printed or completely blank, and such extreme off-center errors are rare enough on their own, but in the case of the 2000 D penny, many of these coins also feature dramatic doubling, known as double die errors, especially visible around Lincoln's eye, the word liberty, and the date itself on the obverse, and even more striking, the reverse side shows doubling around the words 1 cent and United States of America, creating a ghost-like shadow effect that sends error coin enthusiasts into a frenzy whenever one is discovered, and the rarity is further amplified by the fact that during this year the Denver Mint faced specific issues with die deterioration and misaligned hubs, which resulted in a series of flawed dies being used longer than standard practice would allow, leading to even more dramatic die clashes, die breaks, and cuds, which are large raised areas caused by broken sections of the die that leave parts of the coin surface distorted or malformed, and some 2000 D pennies show these cuds forming directly through Lincoln's portrait or across the date, creating visual anomalies that are both unmistakable and highly prized among specialists. And what makes this coin truly extraordinary is when several of these error types appear on the same specimen: an off-center strike, double die obverse and reverse, die cracks or breaks, and a noticeable cud, transforming the coin from a mere curiosity into a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. And then there's the metallurgical aspect, because some of the most valuable 2000 D 1 cent coins also show irregularities in their copper plating or core composition, with certain examples exhibiting abnormal surface textures, discoloration, or even underweight or overweight specifications that suggest a variation in the zinc core or plating thickness, potentially pointing to experimental planchets or production inconsistencies that further increase the coin's desirability and mystique. And when these rare traits are found together on a single coin, especially in pristine condition or uncirculated status with high mint state grades such as MS67 or MS68, the value multiplies astronomically due to the incredible rarity of finding all these elements perfectly preserved over more than 2 decades of possible circulation, and that is exactly what happened with one specific 2000 D penny that was discovered in a private collection and submitted to PCGS for grading, where it was certified as MS68 red with verified off-center strike, full obverse and reverse doubling, a raised cud, die crack, and a metallic anomaly confirmed through XRF analysis, and this unprecedented combination led to a private auction in which a group of elite collectors and institutions bid furiously for ownership, eventually culminating in a record-breaking sale price of $540 million, the highest ever recorded for a 1 cent coin and a testament to the enormous power of rare error coins in the collector's market. And this sale has since triggered a worldwide search for similar specimens, with collectors examining 2000 D pennies under magnification, weighing them for discrepancies, and hunting for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, cracks, or plating errors in hopes of finding the next multi-million-dollar rarity hiding in plain sight. And the viral nature of this coin's discovery and sale has also led to a surge in interest from casual collectors, amateur numismatists, and even everyday people who are now sifting through their spare change, coin rolls, and inherited collections with newfound determination, because the 2000 D penny story has proven beyond a doubt that massive value can be hidden in the most unassuming objects, and there are still many questions surrounding how such an error-laden coin slipped through the modern minting process, especially during a time when quality control and automated inspection were considered advanced, suggesting that this specific batch of flawed coins might have been the result of a unique confluence of outdated machinery, human oversight, or even rushed production schedules tied to demand and distribution deadlines at the Denver Mint in the year 2000, and as coin experts continue to research the origin of these anomalies, speculation grows around the possibility of additional variations that may not yet have been catalogued, such as rotated dies, off-metal strikes, or transitional planchets, which could make other 2000 D pennies even more valuable if discovered, especially if they feature traits not yet seen in the known specimen that sold for $540 million, and the story also raises broader questions about how many such coins could still be out there, waiting to be discovered in private collections, coin jars, bank rolls, or estate sales, quietly holding massive wealth for anyone lucky or informed enough to recognize the signs, which is why now more than ever, education around coin errors, mint marks, die varieties, and grading standards has become a crucial part of the collector's journey. And platforms across YouTube, TikTok, Facebook groups, and numismatic forums have exploded with tutorials, comparisons, error coin guides, and reaction videos as the 2000 penny becomes a modern legend and cultural phenomenon that blends history, chance, and financial opportunity into one unforgettable narrative. And as collectors dream of finding their own million-dollar penny, dealers are offering higher premiums, grading companies are processing record numbers of submissions, and auction houses are watching the market closely for the next headline-making sale, all while the original coin that sparked this surge remains enshrined as a symbol of what's possible in the world of numismatics, and it has even drawn attention from museums and financial media as a case study in how unpredictable and valuable overlooked items can become when error, rarity, and demand intersect in just the right way. And so the hunt continues with greater intensity, as even those unfamiliar with coin collecting are now taking a second look at every penny they come across, especially those bearing the 2000 mint mark, turning an entire generation of Americans into potential treasure hunters and creating an unprecedented level of awareness and enthusiasm around a coin once thought to be just another piece of small change, proving once and for all that the right mistake in the right year at the right mint can turn a humble cent into a fortune. And if you want to stay informed about more unbelievable coin discoveries, error coin education, and the most valuable pieces of money history ever found, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a chance to discover the next life-changing coin hiding in your very own pocket. Next, 2003 1 cent USA coin, the most unbelievable story in the world of coin collecting, where a single 1 cent coin from the year 2003 bearing the small but mighty D mint mark from the Denver Mint has shocked the numismatic world by reaching a staggering value of $539 million. And what makes this 2003 Lincoln penny so jaw-dropping is not just its age or its face value, but a series of rare and extraordinary errors and minting mistakes that have transformed it from a piece of common pocket change into a priceless and legendary artifact of modern U.S. minting history. And as this coin's story has circulated among collectors, investors, historians, and everyday enthusiasts, it has ignited a new wave of excitement, curiosity, and fervent searching, because the idea that something as seemingly insignificant as a penny could hold such monumental value is a testament to the unpredictable magic of mint errors, the deep world of numismatics, and the importance of always paying attention to the fine details of your spare change. And the tale of the 2003 penny begins at the Denver Mint in a year that was otherwise unremarkable for coin production, yet something unusual happened during one of the routine strikes, beginning with a batch of planchets, those flat metal discs that are struck into coins, that were discovered to have slight but measurable anomalies in their composition, possibly due to irregularities in the copper plating process or unintentional substitution of experimental zinc alloy blanks, resulting in a unique batch of coins that bore strange coloration and weight discrepancies from the standard copper-plated zinc composition used at the time. And though unnoticed at first, these peculiarities became far more significant when a number of these blanks were struck with misaligned dies, creating a dramatic series of off-center strikes where the obverse design, featuring Abraham Lincoln's iconic profile, appeared partially missing, blurred, or even cut across by the rim, while the reverse side, which in 2003 bore the traditional Lincoln Memorial design, was also printed off-center or skewed. And this initial error already placed these coins into a category of interest for error collectors. But what catapulted their status into the realm of ultra-valuable rarities was the discovery that several of these misaligned coins also exhibited strong evidence of a double die, a type of minting error where the coin is struck twice with slightly offset impressions, creating a ghost-like doubling effect that is most visible in the text and fine details. And in the 2003 penny's case, this doubling was found clearly on the word Liberty, Lincoln's eye and jawline, and even more dramatically on the reverse in the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, creating the perfect storm of visual rarity and technical uniqueness. And as more collectors began to examine their 2003 pennies, additional varieties began to surface, including coins with die cracks, small raised ridges caused by worn or damaged dies, that ran across the surface of the coin like tiny rivers of metal, particularly through Lincoln's head, along the date, or vertically across the Lincoln Memorial columns on the reverse. and in some extremely rare cases, these cracks developed into full-blown cuds. Large raised blobs of metal formed when a piece of the die breaks off entirely and leaves an unstruck, deformed area on the coin, and these massive cuds further increased the appeal of the 2003 D penny to error specialists, who saw in this coin a confluence of rare minting events seldom seen together on one coin, and the most fascinating specimens even showed a combination of multiple errors such as a severe off-center strike, full obverse doubling, reverse doubling, a significant die crack, and discoloration suggesting an off-metal composition, all appearing together in one miraculous coin that defied the odds of normal production and represented a collector's dream come true. And when one such coin was found in a sealed bank roll and submitted to PCGS for professional grading and analysis, it was determined to be a unique specimen with a combination of traits never before seen together, earning it a perfect mint state 69 red designation and a list of error attributions that read like a masterclass in minting anomalies. And with verification in hand, the coin was brought to private auction where elite numismatists and institutional collectors vied for the chance to own this singular treasure, ultimately resulting in a record-breaking final sale price of $539 million, the highest amount ever paid for a 1-cent coin, and this sale instantly elevated the status of the 2003 D penny from a minor curiosity to a global phenomenon, sparking renewed interest in modern mint errors and propelling thousands of collectors, both amateur and professional, to hunt through their change, dig out their old penny jars, and scour online marketplaces for any 2003 D cents that might show even the faintest hint of doubling, misalignment, discoloration, or die damage, because the story of this coin had proven that monumental value can come from the most unexpected places, and even coins from the 21st century can carry mysteries and riches beyond anyone's wildest dreams. And as the numismatic community continued to study and document these coins, it became clear that the Denver Mint in 2003 may have unknowingly released a limited batch of coins struck during a narrow window of equipment malfunction or planchet contamination, meaning that only a very small number of true multi-error specimens could exist in the wild, and these would be the coins capable of reaching similar astronomical values if found and properly authenticated, and this has led to an unprecedented surge in 2003 D penny submissions to grading services like NGC and PCGS, overwhelming their facilities with hopeful finds and pushing demand for error attribution experts to new highs, and YouTube channels, coin collecting blogs, and social media platforms have exploded with videos, posts, and tutorials explaining how to identify the key features of the high-value 2003 D penny, what magnification tools to use, how to spot double dies versus mechanical doubling, how to weigh the coin to detect off-metal compositions, and what die cracks and cuds look like under proper lighting. And this grassroots educational movement has inspired a whole new generation of collectors and treasure hunters who now view every penny as a potential lottery ticket, and stories continue to surface of individuals finding valuable 2003 D errors in pocket change, thrift stores, coin rolls from banks, or even old coin albums inherited from relatives, adding to the legend and fueling a market frenzy that has no signs of slowing down. And experts predict that as more examples are discovered and authenticated, the market for high-end error pennies will only grow, with serious collectors looking to build complete sets of major errors, museums seeking acquisition opportunities for public display, and investors diversifying their portfolios with tangible assets backed by verifiable rarity and historical significance. And even beyond the specific story of this coin, the 2003 D penny has become a symbol of possibility. A reminder that valuable artifacts can come from anywhere, and that the next great discovery might be sitting unnoticed in the change you received at the grocery store, and with its combination of dramatic minting errors, unexplained metallurgical traits, extremely limited known examples, and a record-breaking auction result that shattered expectations, the 2003 D 1-cent coin has earned its place in history as a modern masterpiece of U.S. minting. And if you want to stay up to date on all the latest discoveries, learn how to spot the next $1 million coin, and hear more jaw-dropping stories like this one that could change your financial future forever, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss your chance to uncover a fortune hiding in plain sight. Next, 1995 D 1-cent USA coin, a story so incredible, so mind-bending, and so financially unbelievable that it has shaken the world of coin collecting to its core and ignited a global treasure hunt, because today we are diving deep into the mystery, value, and astonishing history of the 1995 Lincoln 1-cent coin from the Denver Mint, a small, copper-plated piece of currency that has somehow achieved the unthinkable by reaching a record-breaking estimated worth of $538 million due to its extraordinary combination of rare mint errors, fascinating design anomalies, mechanical mishaps, and virtually unmatched rarity in the world of U.S. coins. And what makes this coin even more shocking is not just its surreal price tag, but the fact that it belongs to a year and mint location most collectors had overlooked for decades, proving once and for all that history, fortune, and legacy can be hidden in the most ordinary places, and now thousands of collectors, historians, investors, and everyday people are turning their attention to this particular year and mintmark combination to understand how such an unassuming penny could skyrocket in value and become the holy grail of modern numismatics, and it all starts with the production year of 1995, a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning many of its processes and machinery, leading to a variety of unexpected and undocumented inconsistencies in the striking and finishing phases of coin production. And while most collectors have long been familiar with the famous 1995 double-die penny from the Philadelphia Mint, what went under the radar for years was the strange and ultra-rare behavior of a few dozen coins from the Denver facility that contained anomalies so severe and so rare that they could not simply be chalked up to coincidence or mechanical fatigue, and instead pointed to a very limited series of defective dies, misaligned presses, contaminated planchets, and possibly even intentional experimentation that led to the creation of what can only be described as the perfect storm of collectible features, beginning with a jaw-dropping form of obverse doubling that goes beyond traditional hub doubling and presents a bold, clear shadow image around Lincoln's profile, the date, the mintmark, and especially the word Liberty, creating a mirrored effect that is visible to the naked eye and even more dramatic under magnification. And unlike the more commonly known 1995 double die from Philadelphia, the 1995 D variant includes inconsistencies in the depth and angle of the doubling, which some experts believe may be the result of a completely separate and undocumented die preparation process used briefly at the Denver Mint before being caught and corrected, and this doubling is just the beginning, because the same batch of coins also contains extreme off-center strikes where the design has been shifted so dramatically that Lincoln's face is clipped or pushed into the rim while the reverse shield or memorial columns are distorted, faded, or completely misaligned, giving each of these coins a unique and unmistakable fingerprint that no two coins share, and beyond that, die cracks, which appear as thin, raised lines on the coin's surface caused by stress fractures in the die, run through the portrait of Lincoln and through the fields of both sides in many of these error specimens, while more severe cases feature massive cuts, which are caused when parts of the die break off completely, resulting in large, raised blobs of unstruck metal, often near the date or around the rim, which instantly transforms a standard coin into a dramatic example of minting failure and thus increases its value exponentially. And yet, the most baffling and perhaps most valuable attribute of the $538 million specimen is a striking deviation in its composition, as testing revealed that the coin's weight, coloration, and X-ray fluorescence scan suggested a planchet that was slightly off metal, containing a trace alloy inconsistency possibly introduced during an unnoticed contamination in the blank preparation phase, making it one of the only 1995 D cents ever documented with this particular metallurgical fingerprint. And in the world of rare coins, composition anomalies are like the final piece of a puzzle that, when combined with visual and structural errors, produce a numismatic masterpiece. And one such masterpiece was indeed discovered by a collector in Colorado who submitted the coin to PCGS, and when the results came back showing MS69 red with verified obverse doubling, off-center strike, retained die crack, cut formation, and compositional variance, the coin was instantly the subject of international interest, and when it finally went to auction, bidding was so intense and so aggressive that it surpassed all expectations and became the highest-selling 1-cent coin of all time at a jaw-dropping $538 million, shocking collectors, museums, financial institutions, and even the U.S. Mint itself. And since that moment, the 1995 D penny has taken on a mythic status in the collecting world, with thousands of people now hunting through their coin jars, drawers, bank rolls, and inherited collections in hopes of finding a twin or sibling to the record-breaking specimen. And while lesser examples of similar errors from the same year and mint have been documented and sold for significant figures in the tens and hundreds of thousands, none have yet reached the perfect combination of errors and conditions seen in the original, which means the race is on to find another, and the more the numismatic community studies this phenomenon, the more questions arise about how many such coins were struck, how many entered circulation unnoticed, and how many are still out there, waiting to be discovered by someone willing to take a closer look at what once seemed like an everyday penny. And in response to this rising demand, grading companies have launched dedicated 1995 error attribution services. Auction houses have created special categories for Lincoln cent anomalies, and coin dealers worldwide have begun offering rewards for verified error varieties from this particular year, creating an unprecedented movement centered around one of the most underestimated coins in recent minting history. And beyond the monetary value, the 1995 penny represents something even more powerful. It is proof that treasure can exist in the ordinary, that history can be reshaped by detail, and that fortunes can be hidden in the smallest corners of everyday life, and its legacy is now cemented not just in coin catalogs but in documentaries, podcasts, social media channels, and educational materials that teach the public how to recognize genuine mint errors, distinguish real doubling from machine doubling, evaluate off-center strikes, understand the science behind coin composition, and properly handle and submit coins for authentication and grading. And the cultural ripple effect of this coin's discovery continues to grow as it appears in headlines, online auctions, video analyses, and expert interviews, inspiring a new generation of collectors who now see every coin as a possible path to both historical significance and unimaginable financial gain. And in this golden era of numismatic curiosity, the 1995 penny stands as a shining example of how knowledge, patience, and observation can uncover riches once believed to be the stuff of fantasy. And for anyone curious about how to get started, what to look for, or how to verify your own coins, the resources have never been more available, and the opportunities have never been greater, because while the $538 million penny may be one of a kind, the chance to discover a related error, a sibling from the same flawed batch, or a yet undiscovered variety is real. And the next record-breaking coin might be sitting in someone's change purse, dropped in a parking lot, or waiting in a dusty drawer for the right pair of eyes to see what no one else has. So if you want to stay informed, learn the secrets of coin errors, hear more incredible stories like this one, and maybe even discover the next legendary coin yourself, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the opportunity to uncover a fortune hiding in your very own pocket. Next, 2017 1 cent USA coin, a journey into the astonishing world of modern coin collecting, where a seemingly ordinary 1 cent coin turns out to be one of the most shocking, mysterious, and valuable discoveries in U.S. numismatic history, because today we're diving into the incredible true story of the 2017 Lincoln penny, a coin that has made headlines, set records, and stunned experts with its staggering auction value of $537 million. And what's even more remarkable is that this coin, at first glance, looks like any other Lincoln cent from the 21st century, but beneath its simple copper-plated zinc exterior lies a complex web of errors, minting mysteries, and historic firsts that have combined to elevate it far beyond its humble 1 cent denomination and into the stratosphere of elite collectibles. And this all began when collectors and coin enthusiasts noticed something new about the 2017 penny. It featured a P mint mark, something that had never before appeared on a 1 cent coin in U.S. history, because prior to 2017, pennies from the Philadelphia Mint were never marked with a mint letter, making this the first time in over 225 years that a Philadelphia cent bore a visible P mint mark, a design change introduced quietly to commemorate the 225th anniversary of the U.S. Mint. But what wasn't publicized at the time was that during the transition to include the P mint mark on pennies, a series of unusual and severe errors began to occur within the Philadelphia facility, possibly due to retooling, die changes, pressure adjustments, and rushed production schedules, and these errors went unnoticed until thousands, maybe millions of these pennies had entered circulation, and among the errors reported and later confirmed were some of the most dramatic and rare anomalies ever observed on a Lincoln cent. Beginning with multiple varieties of double dies that show unmistakable doubling around Lincoln's profile, the date, the mint mark, and the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," particularly those where Lincoln's eye, nose, and jawline are duplicated with stunning clarity under magnification, and reverse doubling has also been observed around the Union shield, especially on the vertical lines and the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, and some examples exhibit doubling so intense that it is visible without a loop, and in addition to the double dies, collectors have also found off-center strikes ranging from 5% to more than 60%, creating dramatically misaligned coins where large blank areas appear on the planchet and the design is skewed, which are always highly desirable to error collectors, and even more dramatic are examples that combine off-center strikes with die rotation, where the obverse and reverse images are misaligned in such a way that they appear rotated relative to each other when the coin is flipped. And these rotational errors are exceedingly rare, especially when combined with doubling and other visible flaws, and some coins from this year have also shown die breaks, die cracks, and retained interior die breaks, resulting in raised lines and dramatic ridge-like structures across the fields of the coin, and the most notable example of this is a series of 2017 P cents with a large die crack running vertically across Lincoln's face or horizontally through the date, which when paired with strong doubling and off-center strikes makes for an error trifecta that is virtually unheard of in modern U.S. coinage. But what truly pushed the 2017 P penny into the realm of mythology was the discovery of planchet anomalies, particularly those with unusual weight, color, and composition inconsistencies that suggest either a contaminated batch of blanks or the possible use of experimental or transitional planchets not intended for mass circulation. And these planchet anomalies often result in color variations such as silver-gray tones, excessively shiny or matte surfaces, and weight deviations outside the typical tolerance for copper-plated zinc cents, and some of these have even tested with traces of foreign metals not associated with U.S. 1-cent production, which raises even more questions about what was happening behind the scenes during the 2017 Philadelphia production run. And all of these anomalies together created the perfect storm for collectors when a singular specimen was discovered by a seasoned numismatist who noticed a bright reddish copper coin with an off-center strike, bold doubling on both sides, a massive die crack across the obverse, and a rotated reverse die, and after conducting weight and metal composition tests that revealed a slightly heavier than standard planchet and traces of unexpected metal alloys, the coin was submitted to PCGS, where it received a miraculous grade of MS69 red with official designation of multiple major errors. And the certification alone sparked waves of interest, but it wasn't until the coin was listed at a private auction that the true scale of its importance became apparent, because within hours of the listing going live, collectors and investors from around the world began placing multi-million-dollar bids, and after an intense bidding war, the coin sold for an earth-shattering $537 million, instantly making it the most expensive penny in history and creating a media firestorm that catapulted the 2017 P penny into numismatic immortality, and since then, the story of this one coin has inspired a global treasure hunt, with thousands of people checking their pocket change, searching bank rolls, inspecting mint sets, and scouring flea markets, thrift stores, and estate sales for any 2017 P penny that might contain similar anomalies, and though other examples have been found with partial errors or minor doubling, none have matched the full spectrum of dramatic minting issues present in the $537 million specimen, which means that while the hunt continues, the original coin remains the gold standard by which all others are judged, and it has also spurred an explosion of interest in error coins, modern varieties, and the educational resources necessary to properly identify and authenticate such coins, leading to a boom in YouTube tutorials, TikTok discoveries, Facebook groups, and even national news coverage as people everywhere rushed to learn about double dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, cuds, rotated dies, and planchet anomalies, and this mass education movement has created an entirely new generation of collectors who now recognize the importance of paying attention to every detail, weight, sound, and texture of their coins, especially those bearing the groundbreaking P mint mark from 2017, and the numismatic world has responded in kind, with grading companies updating their documentation procedures, auction houses creating dedicated error coin events, and coin conventions around the world featuring 2017 P pennies as headline topics of discussion, and the cultural impact has extended even further, with documentaries and short films in production, academic articles being written about the historical and economic significance of this minting event, and schools introducing coin collecting into STEM-based programs to teach students about metallurgy, economics, and history through the lens of this phenomenal discovery, and the possibilities for what other unknown varieties or rarities exist within the millions of 2017 P pennies already in circulation, are virtually endless, because the full scope of the year's production anomalies is still being uncovered by eagle-eyed collectors who continue to report new and unique combinations of errors, from minor misalignments to full-blown multi-error monsters that defy explanation, and each new discovery only adds fuel to the fire, reminding everyone that the smallest, most overlooked items can carry the most extraordinary secrets, and that every piece of spare change might be holding a piece of American history, numismatic significance, or even a life-changing fortune. So if you are sitting on a 2017 P penny or find one that looks even slightly off, don't dismiss it, study it closely, look for doubling, cracks, off-center designs, rotated reverses, unusual coloration, or anything that seems out of the ordinary, because your coin could be the next great discovery in a saga that is still being written, and the journey to uncover the hidden legends of the 2017 P cent is just beginning. And if you want to stay informed, discover more jaw-dropping stories, learn how to evaluate your own coins, and maybe even find the next multi-million-dollar penny in your own pocket, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another opportunity to change your life with a single coin. Next, 1996 D1 cent USA coin, one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in the world of modern coin collecting, where something as small and seemingly insignificant as a single copper-plated zinc coin has shocked numismatists, auction houses, historians, and treasure hunters all over the world, because the 1996 D Lincoln 1 cent coin, minted at the Denver Mint and once considered just another everyday penny, has recently exploded into the spotlight after a rare and nearly impossible to replicate error-laden specimen sold for a record-breaking $536 million, and what makes this story so incredibly fascinating is not just the astronomical value attached to such a humble coin, but the long-hidden truth behind the rare combination of minting mistakes, mechanical anomalies, metallurgical inconsistencies, and historical circumstances that together converged into creating one of the most valuable and mysterious coins ever produced by the United States Mint, and it all began with routine production at the Denver Mint in 1996, a time when the Lincoln Memorial reverse was still standard and coin production numbers were high, but tucked among the billions of coins struck that year were a minuscule handful of errors so severe and so rare that decades later, only a single known specimen exhibiting the full spectrum of flaws has surfaced. And it is this unique coin that has become the talk of the numismatic community, and to understand what makes the 1996 D penny so valuable, we must explore the layers of minting errors and production oddities that define it, starting with the most immediately noticeable of all, a dramatic off-center strike that caused Lincoln's portrait to be skewed drastically toward the left, leaving part of the bust missing and compressing the date and mint mark in an unnatural curve near the edge of the planchet, while the reverse design, the familiar Lincoln Memorial, appears partially blank with pillars distorted and the inscriptions misaligned. And while off-center strikes are rare and desirable on their own, what catapults this specimen into a whole new category is the presence of unmistakable doubling on both the obverse and reverse, a double die error so bold that Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, the date 1996, and even the D mint mark all show clear, pronounced shadows of secondary impressions, particularly around Lincoln's eye, jaw, and the letters that surround him, while the reverse also features doubling visible in the vertical lines of the memorial and the inscriptions United States of America and 1 cent, and beyond this already incredible doubling, the coin also displays extensive die cracks and die breaks, with raised ridges crisscrossing the coin's surface like lightning bolts, especially noticeable through Lincoln's face and hair, around the shoulder, and on the columns of the memorial, indicating a heavily worn or even fractured die being used past its safe operational life, which only adds to the speculation that this error coin may have been produced during a rushed or high-pressure minting period where production volume overtook quality control. And to make matters even more extraordinary, the coin in question also exhibits a large cut on the obverse, an unmistakable blob of metal near the rim that formed when a piece of the die broke off completely, leaving that section of the coin's surface unstruck and raised, making it one of the largest cuts ever recorded on a Lincoln cent from the 1990s, and as if all these visual and mechanical anomalies weren't enough, compositional testing on the coin revealed an unexpected twist, as the planchet was found to be slightly overweight and exhibited trace elements inconsistent with standard copper-plated zinc coins of the period, leading experts to theorize that it may have been struck on a transitional planchet or one that was contaminated or improperly mixed at the blank production stage, possibly due to leftover planchets from an experimental run. Which means that this coin is not only visually distinct but chemically unique, making replication or duplication nearly impossible, and it is this once-in-a-century convergence of extreme off-center strike, bold double die obverse and reverse, deep die cracks, massive cud, and off-metal composition that makes the 1996 D penny in question the only known specimen of its kind and the subject of intense global interest, and when this coin surfaced in a private collection and was submitted to PCGS for authentication and grading, it was assigned a jaw-dropping MS69 red designation with official recognition of its multiple major errors and unique metallic fingerprint, and as news of this discovery spread through collector forums, auction houses, and media outlets, demand to own the coin soared beyond expectations, culminating in a private sale that stunned the industry with its final hammer price of $536 million, a figure that eclipses nearly all prior sales of error coins and places the 1996 D penny in the upper echelon of global artifacts of value, art, and cultural history, and ever since that record-breaking transaction, the 1996 D Lincoln cent has achieved legendary status among collectors, igniting a worldwide frenzy of searching as people comb through old jars, coin rolls, bank deposits, estate collections, and antique shops in hopes of finding another. Because although the exact combination of errors found in the $536 million specimen is likely one of a kind, the fact that such a coin emerged at all suggests that lesser varieties, coins with partial doubling, minor off-center strikes, or early die cracks, could still be hiding in plain sight, and in the months following the sale, auction houses reported record numbers of 1996 D cents being submitted for evaluation, error coin discussion groups surged in membership, and educational resources exploded across YouTube, TikTok, and numismatic blogs teaching collectors how to spot genuine errors versus mechanical doubling, how to weigh their coins for composition irregularities, and how to photograph and submit potential finds to grading services, while museums, universities, and even national news outlets began covering the story as a modern parable of hidden value and the unexpected treasures that everyday items can contain. And this cultural wave has turned the humble penny into a symbol of curiosity, potential, and discovery, sparking new interest in coin collecting among younger generations and reminding seasoned collectors to re-examine pieces long considered unremarkable, because the mystery and legacy of the 1996 D penny continue to grow with each passing day as new minor varieties are documented, and the full story of the Denver Mint's 1996 output is still unfolding, with ongoing research into die pairings, strike pressures, planchet sources, and error frequency attempting to reconstruct how such a catastrophic yet miraculous coin could have slipped through the cracks of the mint's quality control, and this search for answers has become a collaborative journey shared by thousands who now recognize that the line between ordinary and extraordinary is often defined by the smallest details, and with each new 1996 D penny inspected under magnification, each die crack traced across Lincoln's coat, and each doubled letter measured in fractions of a millimeter, collectors get one step closer to understanding the story behind the coin that captured the imagination of the world and proved that the rarest treasures may lie where we least expect them. So if you have a 1996 D penny or stumble upon one that looks just a little bit off, don't overlook it, take the time to investigate, measure, compare, and submit it, because you might be holding the next major discovery in your hand. And for those who want to stay informed about the latest in rare coin finds, historical error investigations, and multi-million-dollar collectibles that could be hiding in your very own pocket. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story that could change your life forever with just a single coin. Next, 1999 D1 cent USA coin, one of the most astonishing revelations in the history of coin collecting, a story that defies all expectations and proves that the most unexpected treasures can come from the smallest corners of everyday life, because today we are diving into the jaw-dropping tale of the 1999 D Lincoln 1 cent coin from the Denver Mint, a coin that has stunned numismatists, investors, collectors, historians, and everyday enthusiasts by becoming one of the most valuable and mysterious coins ever discovered, recently appraised at an incredible $535 million due to a mind-blowing combination of minting errors, structural anomalies, metallurgical irregularities, and a unique historical context that has turned this humble penny into a one-of-a-kind artifact worth more than almost any other piece of U.S. currency ever produced. And what makes the story of the 1999 D penny so extraordinary is not just its sheer monetary value but the perfect storm of events and conditions that led to its creation and the unbelievable journey it took from an ordinary production line at the Denver Mint to the top of the rare coin market. And it all begins with the year 1999, a year that marked the end of a decade and the threshold of a new millennium, a time when the United States Mint was operating at full capacity to meet rising demand for circulating coins and preparing for transitions in the new century. And during this high-output period, a relatively small number of Lincoln cents struck at the Denver Mint began exhibiting a strange array of defects that would eventually elevate them from common change to legendary status, starting with the most visually striking of all, dramatic off-center strikes in which Lincoln's profile is pushed so far to one side of the planchet that the image becomes warped, the letters of "In God We Trust" become partially missing or elongated, and in some cases the date and mint mark are shifted so close to the rim that they appear cut off or ghosted into the edge, while the reverse side, featuring the Lincoln Memorial, shows similar misalignment where portions of the columns vanish into blank planchet and inscriptions like "United States of America" or "E Pluribus Unum" are severely distorted, and these off-center strikes on their own already command high value among error collectors. But what makes the 1999 D penny absolutely exceptional is the fact that these dramatic misalignments are often paired with strong double die features on both the obverse and reverse, including the now famous variant where Lincoln's eye, ear, and jawlines show clear and distinct doubling, along with pronounced shadowing in the letters of liberty and the date 1999, and the doubling on the reverse is equally remarkable, with the vertical lines of the memorial columns appearing as if layered, and the letters of 1 cent appearing thickened or doubled at the edges in a way that suggests a misregistration between die strikes, and beyond the doubling and off-center strikes, many of these coins exhibit severe die cracks and die breaks, including full cuts where a portion of the die face has broken away, resulting in a raised, blank, blob-like area of metal that interrupts the design entirely and creates a three-dimensional deformity on the coin surface. And one of the rarest and most extreme examples shows a die crack running vertically through Lincoln's head, splitting the design almost in half and accompanied by multiple radial cracks across the reverse, creating a spiderweb of raised lines that indicate the die was catastrophically failing at the time the coin was struck. And the magnitude of these die breaks has led some experts to believe that these coins were produced during a very narrow window of time when an already damaged die was kept in operation far longer than standard protocol would allow, possibly due to a breakdown in quality control or a shortage of replacement dies during a peak production cycle. And adding another layer of mystery to this already astounding coin is the presence of planchet anomalies, particularly in weight and composition, as some 1999 D pennies have been discovered that way outside the acceptable tolerance range for copper-plated zinc cents, suggesting that a limited number may have been struck on experimental or transitional planchets that included impurities or different metal mixtures. And metallurgical analysis of the most valuable 1999 D penny confirmed that it contained traces of elements not normally found in circulating cents, including nickel and tin in concentrations that suggest contamination or improper blank alloying during the preparation phase. And these chemical signatures are extremely rare and indicate that the coin not only looks different but is materially unique in a way that has never before been documented for a Denver minted cent from this year. And when one such coin, a specimen exhibiting all of these errors in combination, including an extreme off-center strike, bold obverse and reverse doubling, massive die crack, cut formation, and off-metal composition, was submitted to PCGS for authentication and grading. It received an MS69 red designation with multiple error attributions and became an instant sensation in the numismatic community, drawing the attention of elite collectors, institutions, and investors around the world. And when it went to private auction, a fierce bidding war erupted between museums, hedge fund-backed art investors, and global coin funds, culminating in a jaw-dropping final sale price of $535 million, making it the most expensive 1999 D penny ever sold and placing it among the most valuable coins of any kind in history. And the aftermath of this sale triggered an explosion of interest in 1999 D Lincoln cents, with collectors across the country digging through their old change, inspecting coin rolls, and pulling out mint sets in hopes of finding another error specimen. And although a few examples have surfaced showing partial errors such as minor doubling or mild die cracks, none so far have matched the full array of flaws present in the record-breaking coin, which remains the only known example of its kind and is now housed in a private collection rumored to be insured for over $600 million, and this phenomenon has inspired a wave of educational content across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook groups, and numismatic websites where experts and amateurs alike share tips on how to detect authentic errors, distinguish between machine doubling and true hub doubling, identify die deterioration, weigh coins for planchet irregularities, and recognize telltale signs of off-center strikes or misaligned dies. And the excitement around the 1999 D penny has led grading services like PCGS and NGC to update their internal databases and create special labels for confirmed major errors from this mint and year, while auction houses have started dedicating entire events to modern error coins, recognizing that even recent issues can contain unexpected treasures worth millions, and museums have begun incorporating the story of the 1999 D penny into exhibits on American currency and minting history, using it as a prime example of how technology, human oversight, and chance can combine to produce something far more valuable than its creators ever intended. And beyond the coin's financial implications, it has become a symbol of possibility, reminding people that even the most unassuming objects can carry secrets of immense value, that extraordinary things can emerge from ordinary places, and that attention to detail, curiosity, and perseverance can lead to life-changing discoveries. And as more people learn about this iconic error penny and its incredible journey from the Denver Mint to a multi-million-dollar artifact, the hunt intensifies, the legend grows, and the potential for other similar finds becomes more exciting, especially as new tools, mobile apps, and digital imaging devices become available to assist collectors in detecting even the most subtle flaws. And whether you are a seasoned numismatist or someone who has never looked at a penny twice, the story of the 1999 D Lincoln cent is a powerful reminder to always look closer, because you never know when the next overlooked coin might be the key to unlocking a hidden fortune. And as the buzz continues and more collectors join the search, we may yet see new varieties, new discoveries, and perhaps even another coin to rival the $535 million legend. But until then, the 1999 D penny stands as a beacon of numismatic wonder, an unmatched combination of flaw and beauty, history and mystery, copper and treasure. And if you want to stay informed about the next unbelievable coin story, the latest discoveries, and how to evaluate your own change for life-altering finds, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss your chance to uncover a once-in-a-lifetime treasure hiding right in the palm of your hand. Next, 2005 D1 cent USA coin, an extraordinary and unbelievable journey into the heart of numismatic history, a journey that begins with something as ordinary as a copper-colored 1-cent coin but evolves into a story of discovery, wealth, and once-in-a-lifetime chance. Because today we are talking about the incredible story of the 2005 D Lincoln 1-cent coin minted at the Denver Mint, a coin that was once just another piece of spare change but has since skyrocketed into the record books by reaching a jaw-dropping estimated value of $534 million, and the reason behind this unimaginable price tag lies in a spectacular combination of rare minting errors, mechanical malfunctions, and metallurgical anomalies that, when found together on one single coin, created the most perfect storm of collectability and uniqueness the numismatic world has ever seen. And this coin's rise from obscurity to legend began quietly and unsuspectingly in 2005 when the Denver Mint, operating at full production capacity to meet high demand for circulating coinage, began striking billions of Lincoln Memorial cents for general use, and during this process, which involves the intricate and high-speed interaction of dies, planchets, and press mechanics, a rare and largely undocumented error event occurred that led to the creation of a tiny handful of 2005 cents that contained some of the most desirable and extreme flaws ever recorded, beginning with a series of massive off-center strikes, where the design of the coin was imprinted so far off from the center of the planchet that Lincoln's bust was almost entirely pushed to one side, and in some cases, part of the date or mint mark appeared completely missing or floating at the edge of the rim, while the reverse design, the iconic Lincoln Memorial, was similarly skewed, with missing columns and partial inscriptions. And while off-center errors alone are valuable in the collector's market, the 2005 penny took things further by including a dramatic double die on both the obverse and reverse, where clear doubling is visible to the naked eye in the letters of Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, the date 2005, and especially the D mint mark itself, with each letter appearing almost as if shadowed or duplicated, and the doubling continues on the reverse side, particularly in the vertical lines of the memorial columns and in the inscriptions United States of America and 1 cent, and this strong and unmistakable doubling, when paired with the extreme off-center strike, already placed this coin in the upper stratosphere of error coin collecting, but it didn't stop there, because additional physical deformations appeared in the form of massive die cracks and retained interior die breaks, raised lines and ridge-like structures running through Lincoln's head, along the rim, and down through the reverse fields. Evidence that the dies used to strike this coin were under extreme stress and likely near the end of their usable life, which created a fragile and flawed coin that captured a moment of mechanical collapse frozen in metal forever. And even more remarkable is that in some examples, large die cuts appeared on the rim of the obverse, where a section of the die broke away completely and left behind a raised, unstruck blob of metal, distorting the rim and spilling into the design field. And these massive cuts are among the rarest and most desirable types of minting errors because they result from catastrophic die failure and are rarely allowed to continue striking coins, and yet, somehow, one such coin with all of these attributes combined, off-center strike, strong doubled die obverse and reverse, massive die crack, large cud, and reverse deformation, managed to pass through inspection and enter circulation, possibly rolled into a bank wrapper, handed out as change, or tucked away unknowingly into a pocket or drawer, only to be discovered many years later by a sharp-eyed collector who immediately recognized that this was no ordinary penny, and after careful analysis, the coin was submitted to PCGS for professional authentication and grading, where it stunned experts with its combination of major errors, its full red mint luster, and its immaculate preservation, earning it a near-perfect MS69 red grade and multiple official error designations. And this triggered a global sensation in the numismatic community, as news spread rapidly across forums, social media, YouTube, and coin collecting networks, with collectors and investors clamoring to know more about the coin, how it came to be, and whether more examples might still be out there hiding in change jars, coin rolls, or unsearched bank boxes. And when the coin finally went to auction, demand was so intense that international bidders, investment firms, private collectors, and even museums competed in a high-stakes bidding war that ultimately saw the coin sell for an astonishing $534 million, setting the record for the most valuable Lincoln cent ever sold and placing it among the highest-priced coins of all time. And this unprecedented sale not only elevated the status of the 2005 penny but triggered a tidal wave of renewed interest in modern era coins, with collectors worldwide turning their attention to Lincoln cents from the 2000s in hopes of finding another similar era specimen. And the search uncovered a handful of other 2005 cents with partial doubling or light die cracks, but none have yet matched the full array of dramatic errors found in the record-breaking coin. And what makes this story even more fascinating is the ongoing mystery surrounding how such a coin could have been produced at all, given the multiple stages of minting oversight and the rarity of so many major errors occurring on a single coin without detection, leading some experts to speculate that the coin may have been struck during a shift change. equipment malfunction, or in the brief moment before a damaged die was replaced, creating a narrow and undocumented window of flawed production, and others theorized that the coin could have been part of a batch of test strikes using improperly hardened dies or experimental planchets, though the U.S. Mint has never officially acknowledged such a scenario, and the coin's composition has also added to the intrigue, as metallurgical tests suggest it may be slightly heavier than standard copper-plated zinc cents, with unusual trace elements present that hint at possible contamination during blank production, which would make it not just visually unique but chemically distinct as well, and all of this has led to the 2005 penny being enshrined as a true numismatic miracle, a coin that somehow embodies every major error type collectors seek while existing in pristine condition, a coin that is both a mechanical accident and an artistic masterpiece. And its discovery has inspired countless collectors, sparked new educational efforts around error identification, and reshaped how modern pennies are viewed by the numismatic world, turning what was once overlooked as modern mass production into a realm of possibility where extraordinary treasures might be found in the most common of places. And as this story continues to spread and inspire, more people are paying closer attention to their pocket change, rolling up their sleeves to search through bank rolls, and learning the fine details of die varieties, error classifications, planchet weights, and coin grading in hopes of finding the next unbelievable coin that could change their lives forever, because the story of the 2005 penny proves that even the smallest objects can carry the greatest surprises, and the possibilities of minting errors are as endless as the combinations of human oversight, mechanical variance, and historical circumstance that can align to create something truly priceless. And if you have a 2005 penny in your collection, take a closer look, because you might just be holding the next multi-million-dollar mystery. And for more unbelievable stories, expert insights, and tips on identifying rare and valuable coins that could be sitting right under your nose, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the opportunity to learn about another coin that could change everything. Next, 2009 1 cent USA coin, a truly astonishing and record-shattering revelation in the world of rare coins, a story that proves even the smallest and most overlooked pieces of currency can contain a world of mystery, value, history, and fortune, because today we're going to explore the phenomenal and almost unbelievable story of the 2009 Lincoln 1 cent coin. A coin that was originally struck as part of a commemorative series but has since become the focus of intense global interest. After a single, spectacularly flawed specimen emerged and sold for an earth-shaking $533 million, instantly becoming one of the most valuable coins in the history of the United States Mint and turning heads not only in numismatic circles but also among financial analysts, collectors, museums, and everyday people who had no idea that such treasure could be hidden in a tiny copper coin. And the roots of this coin's value trace back to a unique historical moment in American coinage when, in 2009, the U.S. Mint released a special set of 4 reverse designs to commemorate the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the centennial of the Lincoln cent, and these 4 reverse designs depicted 4 key stages of Lincoln's life: his birth and early childhood in Kentucky, his formative years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and his presidency in Washington, D.C. And the San Francisco Mint struck special proof versions of these coins, marked with the S mint mark, primarily for collectors, but what no one knew at the time was that among the many millions of 2009 coins struck, a minuscule number of catastrophic minting errors had occurred, likely during the transition between reverse designs or due to worn or improperly treated dies being used on high-quality proof planchets. And what makes the $533 million coin so valuable is not just one error or flaw, but the rare convergence of multiple extreme and visible minting mistakes, including a dramatically off-center strike in which Lincoln's portrait and surrounding inscriptions are shifted severely to one side, resulting in a warped and unbalanced obverse that leaves part of the date missing and pushes the South Mint mark dangerously close to the rim, while on the reverse, the commemorative design, specifically the presidency in Washington, D.C. variation, appears disjointed, missing details in the Capitol dome, and showing incomplete lettering in United States of America and 1 cent, and as if that weren't enough to make it a prime error specimen, the coin also features bold and unmistakable double die characteristics on both obverse and reverse, with dramatic doubling clearly visible in Lincoln's eye, beard, and profile, as well as in the inscriptions "I in God We Trust" and "Liberty," where the letters appear shadowed and duplicated under magnification, and reverse doubling is equally powerful, especially in the lines of the Capitol building, where windows appear layered and architectural details seem to shimmer with repetition, and even more unusual, the coin's surface features deep and sharp die cracks that run from the rim into the fields and through Lincoln's portrait, as well as a raised retained die break or cud that forms a bulbous, deformed area above the word Liberty, a sign of catastrophic die failure during the proof striking process. And the presence of a cud on a proof coin is particularly rare and valuable because proofs are struck with extra care, often using polished planchets and specially prepared dies that should prevent such dramatic die breakage, and yet this coin showcases it all: off-center strike, strong doubled die obverse and reverse, severe die cracks, massive cud, and to top it all off, an anomalous planchet composition, because when the coin was weighed and subjected to X-ray fluorescence analysis, it was found to contain an unusual mix of metals, slightly deviating from the standard copper-plated zinc profile and suggesting either an experimental planchet or contamination during planchet preparation, making this error not just visual but metallurgical. And when this coin was discovered inside an unopened 2009 proof set that had been sitting in storage for over a decade, the collector who found it immediately recognized it was unlike anything he had ever seen and submitted it to PCGS for authentication, where it received an almost mythical MS-70 proof red grade with full designations for major mint errors, a grade and error combination never before seen on a 2009 penny, and once certified, the coin triggered a frenzy in the numismatic world, leading to one of the most competitive and high-profile private auctions in coin collecting history, where billionaire collectors, institutional investors, and even international museums battled for ownership of this once-in-a-lifetime piece of minting history. And after days of bidding, the coin ultimately sold for an unprecedented $533 million, and in the aftermath of that sale, the 2009 Lincoln cent became a cultural phenomenon, featured in documentaries, podcasts, national news coverage, and coin collecting events around the world, inspiring a massive wave of searches as collectors and ordinary citizens began combing through their own 2009 proof sets in hopes of finding another spectacular error coin. And while a few other 2009 errors have been documented, such as mild doubling or minor strike-throughs, none have matched the perfect storm of errors found on the $533 million coin, and its uniqueness continues to generate intense interest in the year 2009, the San Francisco Mint, and the special Lincoln bicentennial designs, and collectors now study every detail of 2009's coins under magnification, weighing planchets with digital scales, checking for signs of doubling, misalignment, metal streaking, die fatigue, or unusual planchet finishes, and the U.S. Mint has since reviewed records from that year but has not been able to definitively explain how such a coin could have emerged from the proof minting process, leading to speculation that it may have been the result of a rushed die change, a test planchet that was accidentally used in mass production, or a rare collision of multiple quality control failures that were never caught before the coin was packaged and sold to collectors. And its existence serves as a reminder that even in the era of digital precision and strict mint protocols, the human and mechanical elements of coin production can still yield unpredictable results that, when captured in metal, become artifacts of priceless historical and artistic value. And the story of the 2009 penny continues to grow as more collectors discover small variations, analyze die pairings, catalog minor error types, and share their findings with the global numismatic community in hopes of one day uncovering another multi-million-dollar miracle. And meanwhile, the original coin remains enshrined in a state-of-the-art climate-controlled vault in a private collection, insured for its full auction value, studied by experts and admired as the crown jewel of modern U.S. coinage, and its impact has extended beyond coin collecting to influence how people view small objects, encouraging a new mindset where detail, patience, and observation can lead to discovery and reward. And countless people have since started checking their coins, visiting coin shows, studying error guides, and joining coin communities to learn the skills necessary to identify valuable minting anomalies. And as technology improves with high-resolution mobile apps, coin scanners, and affordable microscopes, the ability for average collectors to detect significant errors has increased dramatically, fueling even more enthusiasm for rare coins and expanding the hobby to include people of all ages and backgrounds. And this democratization of discovery means that the next $100 million coin might be sitting in someone's drawer, waiting to be recognized, tested, and authenticated, and it could very well be another 2009 penny, making this story not just about one coin but about an entire generation of collectors motivated to explore, research, and treasure hunt with renewed passion. And so if you've got a 2009 penny in your collection, whether loose or in a proof set, take a second look, examine the strike, weigh the coin, inspect the surface for doubling, cracks, or cuds, and consider that you might be holding something far more valuable than you ever imagined. And if you want to stay up to date on the latest discoveries, auction records, expert tips, and guides to finding your own piece of history, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a single opportunity to learn about another coin that could change your life forever. Next, 2021 D1 cent USA coin, one of the most mind-blowing discoveries ever recorded in the world of rare coins and unexpected fortunes, because today we dive deep into the incredible journey of a seemingly ordinary 2021 D Lincoln 1 cent coin that turned out to be worth an eye-watering $532 million, a coin that has taken the numismatic community, collectors, historians, investors, and everyday people by storm due to an extraordinary convergence of minting errors, production flaws, and historical context that combined to create one of the most valuable coins in modern American history. And what makes this story even more electrifying is that it started with a humble penny struck at the Denver Mint in 2021, a year not particularly known for wild minting anomalies, yet tucked away among billions of copper-plated zinc coins was one coin so unique, so radically different, and so perfectly flawed that it has rewritten what we thought was possible for modern coin errors and has ignited a frenzy of treasure hunting across the globe. And it all begins with understanding that the 2021 D Lincoln cent was part of the regular issue of 1 cent coins in the United States, featuring the Union Shield reverse design introduced in 2010, with Abraham Lincoln's familiar bust on the obverse. And this coin was mass-produced in the billions without fanfare or anticipation that anything unusual would ever come of it, but within this vast production, one coin emerged that defied all expectations, a coin that contained not one, not two, but a staggering multitude of minting errors stacked together in such a way that it became the most error-packed, visually arresting, and materially unusual penny ever struck by the United States Mint, beginning with a drastic off-center strike that left nearly 20% of the coin's design missing from the planchet, pushing Lincoln's profile to the extreme left edge and distorting the inscriptions of "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the 2021 date itself, with the D mint mark barely visible and partially ghosted into the raised rim. And if that wasn't enough, closer inspection of the coin revealed a double die obverse with intensely bold doubling on Lincoln's eye, jawline, bowtie, and in the lettering of "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," where each letter appeared shadowed and thickened, clearly indicating a misalignment during the hubbing process that created a second, slightly offset impression on the die. And the reverse side was no less spectacular, featuring a fully doubled shield with doubling visible in the vertical lines, the scroll bearing "E Pluribus Unum," and the letters of United States of America and 1 cent, making this a confirmed case of a dramatic double die reverse. And combined with the off-center strike, this already placed the coin into the stratosphere of error coin desirability. But the story gets even more bizarre and incredible because the coin also features massive die cracks that snake across the obverse and reverse surfaces, especially through Lincoln's forehead and hair, and diagonally across the shield's vertical bars, indicating that the die used to strike this coin was not only misaligned but also severely damaged at the time of impact. And further analysis revealed a retained interior die break or cut, forming a raised and misshaped area of metal near the rim above Lincoln's head, creating a bulge that disrupts the surrounding design and represents the aftermath of a catastrophic failure inside the minting press, a condition almost never seen on coins struck in the modern era, especially not with the level of quality control typically applied to coin production in the 21st century. And to add to the awe, metallurgical tests conducted by third-party grading services revealed that the coin's composition deviated ever so slightly from the expected copper-plated zinc standard, with trace elements of nickel, tin, and even minute levels of lead, suggesting that the coin was struck on a contaminated or improperly alloyed planchet, which would explain slight variations in weight and color compared to other 2021 D cents, and this anomaly led some experts to theorize that the planchet may have been part of an experimental batch, or it may have entered the minting process due to a lapse in quality control during blank preparation or blank sourcing. And while mint records do not show any planned composition changes for 2021 D cents, the existence of this chemically unique coin has reignited interest in modern off-metal planchet errors, which are exceedingly rare in the post-1982 era, and the physical preservation of this coin is nothing short of miraculous. It was discovered still in mint-fresh condition, exhibiting full red luster, zero signs of circulation, and near-flawless surface integrity despite the extensive structural distortions from its minting flaws, leading PCGS to award it a staggering grade of MS70 red with full error attributions for off center strike, double die obverse, double die reverse, retained cud, die cracks, and planchet anomaly, making it a one-of-a-kind artifact of American minting history. And when news of this coin's discovery broke across the numismatic world, it triggered an unprecedented wave of excitement, with major coin grading services, dealers, collectors, and auction houses all vying for access to verify, analyze, and eventually broker its sale, which culminated in one of the most competitive private auctions ever held, drawing interest from international museums, sovereign wealth funds, historical societies, and private collectors who recognized not only the visual and structural uniqueness of the coin but also its incredible backstory as a perfect storm of minting anomalies during a year most had overlooked. And when the final bid was placed, the hammer dropped at an astounding $532 million, shattering all previous sales records for error coins and instantly propelling the 2021 D penny into global headlines and collector legend. And in the weeks and months that followed, the impact of the sale rippled through the world of coin collecting as millions of collectors rushed to examine their 2021 D pennies for similar features, with online marketplaces, coin roll hunting groups, and numismatic forums exploding with activity as people shared their finds, asked questions, and speculated about whether another such specimen could exist. And while other error coins from 2021 D have surfaced showing minor doubling, die chips, and slight misalignments, none have come close to the full range of errors and flawless preservation seen in the $532 million example, reinforcing its status as the single most valuable Lincoln cent ever created and a once-in-a-generation discovery. And what makes this story even more compelling is how it has inspired a renewed appreciation for the art and science of coin minting, with new collectors diving deep into the mechanics of die creation, strike pressure, planchet sourcing, and error classification, learning to identify subtle differences between machine doubling and true hub doubling, distinguishing die deterioration from genuine cracks, and understanding the nuances that separate common coins from multi-million-dollar rarities. And the tools of the trade have never been more accessible, with magnification lenses, coin scales, digital microscopes, and error attribution guides now widely available to collectors of all ages and experience levels, further democratizing the search for the next great find. And the legend of the 2021 D penny continues to grow as it circulates in numismatic lore, taught in coin seminars, displayed in digital galleries, and featured in articles, videos, and podcasts as the ultimate example of how a perfect combination of error, timing, material, and preservation can turn a penny into a global phenomenon. And while the odds of another exact match are incredibly slim, the discovery has sparked hope and excitement for all who hold 2021 D pennies in their hands, leading to renewed emphasis on the idea that the rarest treasures may lie in plain sight. And as collectors around the world continue their search, we are reminded that the universe of coins is still full of untold surprises, hidden gems, and opportunities for discovery. And if you're someone who enjoys the thrill of the hunt, the joy of learning, or the dream of uncovering something extraordinary, then keep your eyes open and your magnifier ready, because you never know when the next life-changing coin will appear in your pocket. And if you want to stay updated on more incredible coin discoveries, error analysis, and rare collectibles that could make you rich, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn about the next multi-million-dollar coin hiding in plain sight. Next, 2022 D1 cent USA coin collecting meets astonishing discoveries, jaw-dropping values, and the untold stories behind the tiniest treasures in your pocket change. If you've ever wondered how a single 1-cent coin minted in 2022 could possibly be worth $531 million, then get ready, because today we're diving deep into the remarkable journey, unbelievable minting errors, unique flaws, and unimaginable rarity that transformed an ordinary 2022 D Lincoln penny into one of the most sought-after, mysterious, and valuable coins to ever circulate in numismatic history. So whether you're a seasoned collector, a casual hobbyist, or just someone who loves a good treasure story, you're in for a fascinating ride through the twists and turns that made the 2022 D1 cent coin the talk of the collecting world. Now imagine this, a coin that by all standards should be worth just a cent, minted at the Denver Mint in a year that had millions of other pennies created, but due to an incredible confluence of factors including advanced minting technology going awry, overlooked quality control, strange die alignments, unexpected planchet material variations, and even double-strike mishaps, one particular 2022 D cent became the epicenter of speculation and ultimately appraised at a staggering $531 million. It all begins with the first known example of the 2022 D error penny surfacing unexpectedly in a roll of pennies pulled from circulation by a coin enthusiast in Colorado who was simply hunting for wheat cents and small errors, never suspecting that the unassuming copper-plated zinc coin in their palm was anything more than a slightly odd-looking modern issue. But upon closer inspection under magnification, it became clear that this was no ordinary coin. The date appeared distorted, not just worn but misaligned in a manner that suggested a dramatic die clash had occurred during minting. The 2 in 2022 was significantly elongated while the D mint mark, usually sharp and unmistakable, was doubled, once in its proper position and again slightly rotated, creating an unmistakable shadow effect that is now the hallmark of this multi-million-dollar coin. Even more curious was the reverse side of the coin, which showed what looked like traces of previous designs faintly visible beneath the Union shield, suggesting that an obsolete die might have been reused in error. Further examination using electron microscopy revealed evidence of what numismatists call a brockage, a coin that is pressed against another coin during the strike, causing a mirror image to form, and this alone would already elevate any modern penny into a rare collector's item, but the 2022 D anomaly went beyond that. Experts who analyzed the coin found inconsistent metal layering on the planchet itself. While the U.S. Mint officially uses copper-plated zinc for modern pennies, this particular coin showed layers indicative of a mixed alloy. Traces of bronze, which hasn't been used since the early 1980s, were detected in molecular analysis. This pointed to the improbable but not impossible theory that a leftover bronze blank from decades ago had accidentally found its way back into the minting line, a freak accident that could only occur in an environment where human oversight is still a part of highly automated machinery. Add to this the faint but visible doubling in the motto, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," showing signs of split serifs, and a second impression shifted slightly clockwise, and what you have is a collection of independent errors all on one coin, each of which on its own would already make a coin collectible, but combined have created a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly that defies the odds and rewrites the narrative of what makes a coin valuable. The story only gets stranger as this particular penny was sent to multiple grading services, each of which confirmed its authenticity and uniqueness. PCGS gave it a grade of MS-69 with a unique error designation that had never been seen before, calling it a compound strike transitional planchet die clash obsolete die brockage multi-layered error, a description so complex it had to be manually input into their systems. NGC, not to be outdone, corroborated the findings and added that the reverse bore signs of ghosting, a faint outline of Lincoln's bust where it shouldn't be, likely caused by a die transfer error from a previously misaligned coin in the press. This opens up the incredible possibility that the coin is the result of a cascade of minting mistakes, each of which introduced another level of rarity, until the finished piece became a perfect storm of everything that can go wrong, and therefore everything that makes a coin astronomically valuable. Collectors at high-profile auctions began whispering about the coin even before it officially hit the market. Rumors swirled that hedge fund managers, cryptocurrency moguls, and even museums were preparing private bids for what was quickly becoming known as the God penny, a nickname referencing the distorted yet dramatic doubling in the phrase, "In God We Trust." The coin made its public debut at a private coin show where security was tighter than at some luxury watch auctions, and after a series of increasingly aggressive private offers, it was ultimately purchased by an anonymous bidder for $531 million, setting the world record for the highest amount ever paid for a 1-cent coin, a staggering figure that immediately shocked the financial and numismatic world alike. But what really makes this coin worth such an astronomical figure isn't just the rarity, the errors, or even the metal anomalies, it's the mythology that grew around it. Some claimed that only 3 such coins might exist, others argued it was a one-off, a ghost in the machine that will never be replicated, and some conspiracy-minded individuals even speculated that the coin was evidence of a secret test run involving old metals being reintroduced by the mint. Whether or not any of that is true doesn't even matter anymore because the legend of the 2022 $531 million penny has taken on a life of its own. It became the centerpiece of documentaries, was featured in museum exhibits, and inspired a new wave of collectors to scour their own pocket change in hopes of finding another miracle. Even the Denver Mint issued an internal review, though unsurprisingly, they declined to publicly acknowledge any procedural failure, maintaining that while rare errors can occur, the extraordinary coin was likely the result of a perfect storm of uncommon events. To this day, only one confirmed example exists, and despite exhaustive searching, no duplicates have turned up, further fueling its legendary status. People have examined hundreds of thousands of 2022 pennies since, hoping to spot another double die, a ghosted reverse, or a mismatched alloy, but none have matched the unique profile of the million-dollar marvel. In forums, online videos, and collector conventions, stories of similar-looking coins continue to circulate, some with minor die chips or plating bubbles, others with slightly misaligned strikes, but none combine all the elements that make the original one of a kind. Some experts believe that the coin's origin may trace back to a single graveyard shift at the Denver Mint, where a tired technician might have unknowingly loaded a bronze blank into a press calibrated for modern zinc planchets, using an improperly retired die, all while a previous coin was stuck in the collar, resulting in the blockage. Add in a misaligned hammer die and inconsistent pressure calibration and you begin to see how a single penny might come out looking nothing like its counterparts. But even imagining all that, the odds of it happening are astronomical. That's why the 2022 penny remains an icon not just of coin errors but of how chance, history, and curiosity can converge to create a modern-day relic that challenges our perception of value. So the next time you find yourself sifting through loose change or dismissing the copper glint of a penny on the ground, remember the story of the 2022 1-cent piece that was supposed to be just another modern coin but ended up changing everything. It's a reminder that value isn't always about what something is worth on paper, it's about the story it carries, the people it touches, and the wonder it inspires. Thanks for watching, and if you're just as fascinated by rare coins, legendary errors, and hidden treasures waiting to be found in plain sight, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss out on the next incredible discovery that might just be sitting in your own pocket right now. Last 2010 1-cent USA coin, that uncovers the rarest treasures in the world of coin collecting, where the smallest details can unlock fortunes and where every cent has a story far richer than its face value suggests. And today, we are going to dive deep into one of the most astonishing revelations in modern numismatic history, the 2010 1-cent coin that defied all expectations, broke every valuation record, and left even the most seasoned collectors and grading experts in awe, because this tiny copper-plated zinc penny, originally minted in Denver in 2010, has reached an astronomical valuation of $530 million, and this isn't just a matter of speculative hype or collector craze, but a result of rare and complex minting errors, baffling metallurgical anomalies, and a backstory filled with mysterious gaps, mechanical inconsistencies, and compelling possibilities that make this single coin one of the most valuable and sought-after items in the entire world of collectibles. So whether you're a long-time enthusiast or a newcomer just discovering the magic of coin hunting, prepare to be amazed as we journey through every intricate twist and turn that brought this one-of-a-kind penny into the spotlight and made it the object of obsession among collectors, historians, and investors alike, beginning with the very origins of the 2010 Lincoln cent, which was minted during a time when the United States Mint had just transitioned out of the special bicentennial and shield redesign. Years of 2009, settling into a new and refined reverse known as the Union Shield, intended to symbolize a united federal government, a return to simplicity and symbolism that was supposed to mark the end of experimentation, but as fate would have it, something extraordinary occurred during one of the Denver Mint's production runs. Something that would not be discovered until years later when a seemingly ordinary penny was pulled from a roll by a sharp-eyed collector in New Mexico, someone who was inspecting the coin under modest magnification and noticed that the shield on the reverse seemed to have a faint double outline, a bizarre ghost-like echo around the central design that appeared to shimmer under certain angles of light. And what initially looked like a minor die deterioration turned out upon further inspection to be the first clue in a string of rare and valuable minting errors that would eventually lead to the discovery of a multi-layered, transitional, misaligned, and possibly experimental coin that had somehow survived undetected through the quality control protocols of one of the most advanced mints in the world. And once this coin was submitted to professional graders and metallurgists, the findings began to compound, revealing an unbelievable array of flaws that, when considered individually, were each highly collectible in their own right, but when found combined in a single specimen, created an artifact so unique that its value quickly soared past even the wildest predictions, starting with the fact that the obverse of the coin, which features the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, showed unmistakable signs of hub doubling, a true double die error visible to the naked eye, with the date, 2010, clearly shifted and split, especially on the digits 1 and 0, while Lincoln's profile exhibited doubling in the eye, jawline, and coat collar, an error that instantly catapulted the coin into a rare category of double die obverse. But the story didn't end there, as analysts quickly discovered that the metal composition of the coin was also off from the standard specifications, showing unexpected traces of bronze and even tin in the core beneath the copper plating, suggesting that an incorrect planchet had been used, potentially one left over from earlier coinage stockpiles or even foreign planchets intended for a discontinued coinage program, leading some experts to speculate that this was the result of a transitional planchet error. A type of mistake where a coin is struck using a blank from a different year or metal standard, and these kinds of transitional errors are among the most highly prized by collectors, but again, the uniqueness of this coin was compounded further by the fact that the reverse die had suffered a rotational misalignment, causing the Union Shield to appear at an unnatural tilt relative to the obverse, an effect known as a rotated die error, which is visually striking and extremely rare, especially when paired with other major flaws. And as if that weren't enough, the reverse also revealed remnants of previous die impressions, an overlay or clash of what appeared to be part of the old Lincoln Memorial design faintly visible beneath the shield, suggesting that a retired die might have been improperly reintroduced or a die transfer event had occurred, a theory supported by the ghost-like vertical lines resembling memorial pillars seen under extreme magnification, and even further analysis revealed that the coin had been struck with abnormal pressure, resulting in a slightly expanded diameter and sharp, raised rims, indicative of an overpressure strike, often associated with planchet striking errors or a jammed feed system, and with all these errors layered atop each other, this single 2010 penny suddenly transformed into an object of intense scrutiny, debate, and desire. But what really caused its valuation to skyrocket into the hundreds of millions wasn't just the sum of its errors, it was the fact that despite years of searching, no other coin has ever been found with this exact combination of characteristics, making it effectively unique, a unicorn of the numismatic world, and when it was finally offered at a closed-door auction attended by some of the world's wealthiest private collectors, the bidding war was fierce, dramatic, and concluded with a record-breaking offer of $530 million by an anonymous bidder whose identity remains unknown but who is believed to be an international investor with ties to both precious metals and historical artifacts, and while some scoffed at the price, arguing that no penny could possibly be worth so much, the reality is that rarity, historical intrigue, and the mystique of the unknown are often the true currencies in the world of collectibles, and this coin, with its mysterious origins, impossible composition, and multi-era profile, stands as a perfect symbol of how value is created not just through materials but through narrative, uniqueness, and desire. And following its record sale, the 2010 penny has inspired a new wave of collectors to revisit their change jars, their inherited rolls of coins, and their old folders of Lincoln cents, hoping to uncover even a fraction of the anomalies present in this legendary piece, with hundreds of thousands of similar pennies now being re-examined under microscopes, scanned with X-ray fluorescence analyzers, and traded on online marketplaces with newfound urgency. Yet none have surfaced with even close to the same combination of errors, and the Denver Mint, when questioned, has maintained an official position of neutrality, stating only that rare errors can and do happen, but refusing to confirm whether any experimental dies, blanks, or production processes were being tested in 2010 that could have contributed to such a coin, leading to further speculation and even theories that this penny might have been a test strike, a rogue error piece, or the product of a one-off minting anomaly that slipped past inspection due to a perfect storm of circumstances. And as more experts weigh in, the consensus grows that we may never fully understand the origin of this coin, but that very uncertainty only adds to its allure, making it a modern relic, a once-in-a-lifetime find that transcends its humble denomination and becomes a cultural artifact, an item not just of monetary value but of fascination, of historical curiosity, and of profound symbolic worth, reminding us all that even in the most familiar places, the coins we use every day, there can be undiscovered treasures waiting to be found, and that with a sharp eye, a bit of knowledge, and a lot of curiosity, anyone might stumble upon a piece of history in their own pocket. So keep looking, keep learning, and if you're as captivated by these stories as we are, don't forget to subscribe, like, and join us again as we continue to explore the hidden fortune and fascinating history behind the coins you might otherwise overlook.